The Tudor Harrods Black Bay edition, one of the most sought after Tudor watches, along with the Tudor Pepsi GMT and the Tudor Black Bay Bronze Blue edition, proving to be a highly collectible piece at the moment. It's also selling for quite a substantial amount over retail. The retail on these is exactly the same as a standard Black Bay from any authorised retailer, which is 2,630. You can, however, only get one of these in a few ways. First way is by going direct to Harrods and joining the waiting list and waiting 6 months, 12 months, maybe 18 months to get hold of one. The second then is by paying quite a substantial amount over retail from places like Watchfinder or Chrono24, or finally you could get one from eBay. If you are going to purchase one second hand, not from Harrods basically, I would highly recommend only purchasing if you have the box, not so much the box because you could pick a box up, but mainly the warranty card, which proves that it's a genuine item. However, you have to be extremely careful. Where more and more authorized retailers are holding warranty cards to stop the influx of watches being sold on the grey market for a hell of a lot more of a retail. I think these are going for anywhere between 3,500 to 5,000, sometimes even more. They are trying to combat that by holding back warranty cards to stop the resale of the watch within the first 12 months. Now, if you are going to purchase one, be very careful, because we have the super clones. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for, this could be a very expensive mistake. Now, this video is designed to show you some quick ways you can tell whether you're buying a genuine Tudor Black Bay Harrods, or not just a Harrods edition, but a genuine Black Bay, because essentially they are the same watches. The only difference would be some subtle little changes that Harrods have made to make it unique and a special edition. Now, looking at these, unless you really know about the watch or you know what you're looking for, it would be extremely hard to tell the difference. The quality of the replica is frightening, if I'm honest with you. The weight, the feel, the look, at first glance, it's a very, very, very good copy of an original watch. Now, the first thing that I'd notice would be the bezel. The rotation clicks on a genuine Tudor are very solid and very, very Rolex-like in some ways. Now, I don't know if you can hear, but let's move it to the mic so it's a bit better. Hear that tight, solid click, which is pretty similar to a Rolex bezel. There is no play at all in this bezel. On the replica, you will see straight away there's quite a lot of play, and it's a lot looser. Also, the clicks, they're not as deep of a noise, I'd say, compared to the genuine. That's the first place to look. And I think once you've got that bezel, like, you could argue if it's been worn, there may be a bit of play in the bezel, but usually if it's a well-made watch, the bezel stays quite solid and quite firm. The next immediate place to look is the clasp. Now, again, first glance, they look pretty much identical. Difference in finish on the clasp of the genuine, but unless you had them side by side, you really struggle to notice any difference. The links are pretty much exactly the same. I'll be honest, there's no difference at all. There's a slight difference in the finish underneath. On the genuine it's a lot smoother, whereas on the replica it's sharper edges. However, the biggest place you can see is your clasp. This part you should be able to open with one finger. Now, it's possible, it can be done, however, it's not easy. As you can see, I struggle. Like if I push up from underneath, it comes open. On a genuine, there are no issues at all. Like if I show you for a second how easy it is to take it off and put it on. Now that's gone on quite easy to take off. One finger. Now the replica, bear in mind this replica isn't sized, so it's going to be extremely loose. Let's try and take this off with one finger, and you can't. If I pull away like that, you can see there's a lot, it's a lot tighter and doesn't come away as easy. Now that may be where it may get easier over time, but if it looks new and it's that tight, there's a problem with it. It wouldn't leave the factory with that finish direct from Tudor. Let's put the bezel all the way back around because that bugs me when it's not bang on the button, on the 12 should I say. The next place again then is back with the clasp. The engraving of Tudor across the main section of the clasp on a genuine is quite a deep engraved logo. You can actually run your finger across it and you can feel that it's quite deep. The replica is more of a laser etched. You can feel the difference, but it hasn't got that depth and feel and finish to it. It's more like on a Rolex style bracelet where they're laser etched on there as well. Let's put this one back on. So you've got your bezel, your clasp fitting, your engravings on the back of the clasp. The next place then is your crown. Now that crown looks like a normal crown to any other person, but if you put them side by side, it's only then you see that the crown on the genuine is a lot darker and thicker black, whereas on the replica it's thinner and it doesn't stand out quite as well as on the genuine. Then, without looking inside, is your engravings on the back of the watch. Now the engravings, they're good on the replica but not quite perfect. Like you can see, the reference number on the genuine is quite small. It's not dark black, it's like a light grey, whereas on the replica it's more of a deeper but darker, and also slightly bigger. I'd say maybe 1.5 times bigger. It's again the same with the serial number. It's a lot more refined on the genuine compared to the replica. Then you've also got the back of the case, the engraving of the Harrods logo. Now this might just be that they haven't put the case back on perfectly. On the replica, it's at an angle. On the genuine, it's perfectly aligned and going straight down the back of the case. Now, you can also see that the engraving around the case back is not as refined as on a genuine. Other than that, when you look at the face markings on the dial, they are pretty much exactly the same. If anything, the logo on the genuine is slightly larger and more near the 12 o'clock marking. And also the writing across the bottom of the dial for your chronometer and officially certified is a lot clearer on the genuine than there is on the fake. The 600 feet, 200 meters, I can't see any difference at all. It's hard, really hard to distinguish the difference between the two. It's frightening, in fact, because that is just over £2.5 and these are about 250 quid. Now there are people out there that will sell you one of these as a genuine item and say, oh, well, Harrods have kept hold of the warranty card. Knowing the way things are at the moment with authorised dealers, you might be happy to take that and think, well, it looks good enough to me, the quality's there. But just be very, very careful. If you're not sure, there are forums, you can always go to an authorised dealer. If they say something that doesn't sit right with you, don't buy it. If they don't want to give you certain things, just walk away from it. However much you want to watch, don't risk it unless you know it's a genuine item. Oh, one final thing, the crown, the genuine, there's a little bit more black showing on the, I think it's like a rubber washer compared to the replica. The movement, you can't tell with, like on a Rolex, you've got the Cyclops for the date. There's no date on this, so you can't really see any difference. It's got the same amount of clicks. In all fairness, the wind on this is like butter, and this is a replica now. So they've obviously got a decent movement inside it. I can't tell you what the insides are like because I haven't got a case back opener to be able to compare them, but I know there are replicas now where they are copying the internals, stamping them up to look the same. They are also issuing warranty cards with the same serial number. I think it's more for Rolex, with the same serial number as in the watch on the Rehort on the card. So you have got a one-for-one replica, and unless you've got them side by side, you wouldn't know any difference. The movement then on the Harrods Black Bay edition, the genuine, again, pretty much the same. There's a little click back on this, but that might be because the watch is fully wound. But it feels a more refined, finished article, the crown does, on this compared to this one. They're close, but there's something that doesn't feel quite right. It feels a little bit cheaper. It's not as well finished. The final thing to mention is the bezel green. It's slightly lighter on the replica compared to the genuine. Hopefully this video has been of some use to somebody looking for a Black Bay, not just the Harrods. The Harrods has got its slight differences with the green bezel, the different marking, and obviously the engraving on the back of the watch. but the rest applies to pretty much any Tudor Black Bay. Maybe not so much the earlier editions, the etched movements, because they've got a slightly different, what's called smiley face writing at the bottom, and they've also got a etched movement inside instead of the Tudor in-house movement. Hopefully, as I said, that's been useful. If you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you thought it was a complete waste of time, please give us a thumbs down, but any feedback would be greatly appreciated, and we shall see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.